So if you are a real estate agent, a real estate investor, a real estate broker, a team leader, or real estate investor, right? Whatever it may be, if you are inside of the real estate business and you are spending tons of hours on tedious activities and tasks that you know have a very low ROI or ROTI, or return on the time you've invested within those, then this video right here is for you, because I'll be walking you through how you can go ahead and use these tools that I'll be talking about in this video to go ahead and just save yourself around 27 plus hours of work week per week, of course. And these are activities such as, for example, cold calling, door knocking, expos, any other activities, like I said, as you know, where you're actively doing these activities and you can see and you know in the back of your head that, okay, I'm doing this, but I don't see any return on my time. Like, I spent 100 hours and I feel like I'm in the same place I was the moment I spent 1 hour or 10 minutes, or even before I even started this activity. This video right here will be valuable for you. I'll jump to the slideshow, but before that, I want to make sure that, if you find any value in this video, just go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join the family, because on this YouTube channel, we talk about how we actually go ahead and you, as a real estate agent or a property professional, can go ahead and remove yourself from all the tedious tasks or activities that go on within being in the real estate business in general, that is, through leveraging automation, delegation, and marketing as well. So let's jump into this video. Cheers. Leveraging automation could be one of the best things you could do for your real estate business as a property professional, as leveraging automation allows you to remove human interaction. And you could take a minute to understand or think about all the human interaction that goes on with being a real estate agent, being a realtor, being a real estate broker, or even being a team leader. It's all exhausting. And I'm literally sitting here telling you that automation could be the key to saving you dozens of working hours every single week. And how? Well, let's talk about some examples of how this happens, or how you can make this happen. But I gave you latent terms of what automation is. Let's actually take a look at the denotative. The denotative meaning of automation is the creation, the application of technologies to produce and deliver goods and services with, minimal human intervention. So let's jump into it. First things first is leveraging tools such as Integromat, Zapier, and Asana. Now, tools such as Integromat and Zapier are what allow you to automate any of your online side of human interaction, and replacing human interaction, whereas Asana is more so for creating SOPs that will allow you to delegate. Now, I only see delegation as delegation works hand in hand with automation, basically. As with automation, you're delegating, you're essentially removing human interaction entirely and replacing it with, software, systems, tools. Whereas with delegation, you're replacing human interaction, but you're replacing it with another human instead. So instead of you having to spend hours cold calling, you could delegate it to somebody else instead to cold call for you. That right there is delegation. And leveraging Asana would be a great way to do it, Because I have a client who actually leverages Asana by having created multiple SOPs. One of the SOPs, for example, is setting up his listing for open houses, or even for if he has a meeting with a purchaser to walk a purchaser through a home, then sending over his assistant to that home 1 or 2 hours beforehand to actually prep out the place, set the place up. Or if he's got a home sold and he needs to get, the camera crew in, then he has an SOP set up for the assistant to go on in the home, welcome the camera crew in, set everything up, fix the furniture, change the furniture, take pictures, and boom, step by step, an entire SOP walking his assistant through that. And that is the power of an SOP. But more importantly, now all he has to do is just drive to the property and talk to the purchaser. That doesn't get more basic than that in terms of focusing on your IPA, which is your income producing activities, because leveraging automation, delegation allows you to focus on your income producing activities. As for you, it could be getting to more appointments with potential recruits for your real estate agency. Or if you're a realtor or a real estate agent, it might be going to appointments with vendors, which are sellers. If that is the case, then going to valuations is your income producing activity, as the more valuations you do, the more deals you close, thereby the higher your GCI becomes, your gross commission income, or the higher your revenue becomes, if you wish. And that's not really possible without automation and delegation. So let's actually show you some examples of how this can be done, right? So before that, I do want to state, first of all, is the goal is to remove yourself from the process. As if you're able to remove yourself from the process, you can end up saving yourself hours a day, or even more than that, depending on how large that specific activity was that you're replacing. And once it's replaced, that time you freed up can be used on an IPA instead. So some examples are, first things first, I know I have created a YouTube video walking you through how to create your very first Facebook vendor ad campaign, right? Which is basically a Facebook seller ad campaign to generate sellers or to generate valuation appointments. And you can actually create an automation and pull out for when you get a lead in from that Facebook ad, you can have an SMS and email sent to you immediately. The link to that video of how to actually set up that Facebook ad should be in the description, and it should also be somewhere at the top in case I don't fail to put it at the top. And something that we also have in our agency is we have a WhatsApp link that also gets sent out via SMS. So if you want, as a real estate agent, you can either call the lead through their phone call, right? Or you can send them a WhatsApp message or call them via WhatsApp instead, which for people feels less intrusive. But either way works, really to each their own, right? Second thing would be a simple follow-up or reminder system that'll just send email reminders to your lead or to your attorney panel. And this one it's really quite something, because I know this is more to, this example specifically would be more to real estate agents and realtors, even investors as well, is when the agency you're using, for example, right? The agency you're using or the office you're using, their CRM might be sending emails to your leads, but it might only be sending one email a month or one email every 3 months. And within that time period, another realtor or another real estate agent could have come over and snatched your lead from you just because you would, you were just, diddle daddling, basically, right? And you weren't putting in the effort. But when you actually create a simple follow up system, nothing big, just something simple saying, hey, I just wanted to bump this message up, put it to the top of your inbox and make sure you got eyes on it, right? Really basic, simple follow up that you can actually have sent to your leads and also your attorney panels. As to your leads, if a lead is only looking to, for example, let's say sell their home 10 months from now, and you're only interacting with them, once every 3 months or like once a month, then here comes along a freelancer who hits his leads up constantly, like hits his leads up hard and follows up, 8 times a month for the next 10 months, and not just begging for an appointment like, hey, book a call, hey, book a call, hey, book a call. But each interaction with the lead, they're giving value. Then when that 10 months hits and that lead says, you know what, I think it's time to sell my home, they aren't going to contact the person who only emailed them once a month. They're going to talk to the freelancer who kept top of mind. And actually setting up, a simple follow-up reminder system would really ensure that you are the person that stays top of mind with the lead. And in terms of the attorney panel, it will be very similar. You keep it way more light, of course. But it would be something where in the cases of your attorney panel normally taking, 2 months to finish a 2 or 3 week activity, or then sending over a simple email reminder or setting up an automation that'll send over a simple email reminder to keep them on top of their work would be an incredible thing, because the turnover rate from closing a deal and registration, instead of it taking 4 or 5 months, could end up taking 2 months, 3 months. On average in my country, it takes about 2 to 3 months, but sometimes it takes way more longer. And the honest truth is, most of the time when it does take longer is mainly because of the attorney panel diddle daddling. And actually setting up a reminder system could decrease that to 2 to 3 months wait time instead of like 4 to 6 months. I know in some countries, the process from an offer made to registration takes like a couple weeks. It's not the case in my country. Now, another thing or an idea for you is setting up an Asana SOP to actually give to your assistant, so that your assistant can set up the listing for you and actually get the camera crew to come in and take the pictures, right? So this SOP would walk them through how to actually place the sold sign, where to place the sold sign, how to rearrange your client's furniture, which camera crew to hire, how much to pay them, what to ask them to take pictures of, how they should take pictures, all those sort of things, and even how to actually upload that listing with the images into the MLS. So that was it. Now, one thing I want you to understand is that when it comes to setting up automation and even delegation, the ideas are infinite. They are endless, honestly. There is nothing you can't automate or delegate. There will always be something you can automate or delegate, truly. The only thing that it comes to is, are you going to push yourself into early retirement? Because honestly, the truth is, the only reason why I'm suggesting this to you and I'm giving this to you is so that you can get to a point where you're able to scale your business. And by scaling your business, I mean saving the hours you're spending every single day on activities that aren't really income producing, right? I'd like to actually show you those softwares I was talking about. So right here we have Integromat. So Integromat and Zapier, that is, are what you can actually use to actually create those if-else functions. If-else functions being, if this happens, then do this, right? And a great way that I like to actually leverage if-else functions is to use a whiteboard. So you literally draw, you don't need to, you could even use a piece of paper, but you draw, okay, if a Facebook lead comes in, I want them sent to my email. What a beautiful looking email logo. And I also want them sent to my SMS. Well, it would be to my phone via SMS. And I also want them sent to Google Sheets. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, not the most perfect writing, but this is the sort of process I go through when actually setting up or attempting to set up a new automation. Just draw a rough draft on a notepad, like a physical notebook. I'm only using my whiteboard here so I can actually show you the process I go through, and that's for automation. Then I just take this rough framework and actually place it inside of and implement it inside of here, right? We use Integromat inside of my agency, but if you're just a beginner and it's just too complicated for you, then I'll just suggest starting off with Zapier. And for our SOPs, it's this right here, Asana. Now, Asana is an incredible software for you to actually leverage when it comes to actually setting up SOPs, where you can just send over the SOP to your team member or get your team members to actually hop into this Asana as well, and everybody can actually see the SOPs at any point. So if you found this video valuable and you enjoyed it, go ahead, hit the subscribe button that should be right underneath me. And the video that's right next to me, I went ahead and I handpicked that for you because I feel it's just a great segue to diving deeper from this video that you just watched. So I will check you on that next video. Cheers.